welcome to KilKare Speedway. I'm Nate Pennington. I'd like to thank you for buying this Penstroke Productions at the track videotape. Legends cars are here today. They're pulling out for their first heat race. Also, I want to thank my wife, Kim, for going up in the Eagle helicopters, getting those fine aerial views that were taken here just a few weeks ago that we use as our opening shot now. To let you know what date this is of the race. Looks like Sean Combs is going to be on the pole this one. Inside on the second row, that's Mike Sloan. Outside of Sean McCombs, front row, Rich Wood in the 15 car. Then it's the 6 of Bill Bickley outside Mike Sloan. Then the 7 of Mike Sharp. 63 is Scott Walter. 68 Greg Boyd. 94 Bobby Sage. 2 is Mike Broadus. In a moment, green flag. And we're about ready to go green flag racing on this hot Friday night here at KilKare Speedway. 96 degrees is the temperature. Heat index 104. Down there on the track, it has to be 140, 150 degrees inside of these cars. We're green flag. Sean McCombs is leading. Not really going to complain about the heat, but because I don't like that wet stuff, but you know, it could be a little bit cooler. Oh, and we got a couple getting together. That was Rich Wood and Sean McCombs. Everybody makes it through. Even Sean McCombs keeps going. Caution out. And on the restart, Rich Wood, Mike Sloan, Bill Bickley, Mike Sharp. Rich Wood, your leader. Battle for second between Mike Sloan, Greg Boyd. Boyd to the high side. Boyd coming all the way up from, well, way back in the pack. No, about 5th or 6th at the restart. And already up to second. Challenging for the lead now. As he comes out of turn number 4. Rich Wood, your leader. But Greg Boyd now looking to the inside, going into turn 2. Down the backstretch there, side by side, going into the fast part of the track in turn 3. And out of turn 4, we have a new leader, Greg Boyd. New second place, Bobby Sage in the 94. Rich Wood just that quick. Back to third, excuse me. Bobby Sage, of course, the man that has been getting around here just quite nicely the past couple of weeks. All the feature wins have been to that 94 car in the past 3 weeks here at KilKare Speedway that the Legends cars had run. Bobby Sage running second. Greg Boyd leading this heat race as the laps continue to wind down. Rich Wood holding on to third. White flag, 1 lap to go for your leader, car number 68, Greg Boyd. We got a number of them getting together on the back stretch. Mike Sharp, Mike Sloan, and a tire rolling into the infield. More than just a tire, a whole front end practically. Looks like at least the brake drum and part of the A-frame. And that one's a completed race. Checkered flag flying. Greg Boyd, car number 68, your winner. Bill Bickley come home second. Rich Wood third. Fourth goes to Bobby Sage. And rounding up your top 5, Mike Sharp in the number 7 machine. We're going to have a couple of moments here of cleanup. Beauty of videotape. We'll be back in a couple of seconds with the lineup for heat race number 2 for the Legends cars. While we're waiting for the track cleanup to continue, I'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that not only does At the Track videotape here at KilKare Speedway, but at Columbus Motor Speedway each and every week. Following the NASCAR Winston Racing Series, 2 tracks in the state of Ohio have the honor of being NASCAR tracks, and Stroke Productions At the Track has the exclusive video rights to both of them. KilKare Speedway, Columbus Motor Speedway, tapes $15 a piece, shipping and handling. Call us anytime and we'll send those tapes out to you. Winter's not going to be too far away, even though it's awful mighty hot today. Winter's not going to be too far away, and it'll be nice to have some racing videos laying around the house to help you get through all those cold months. And Stroke Productions At the Track videos. Heat race number 2 pulling out on the track. Ken Rice, it looks like on the pole. Outside of him, I believe, is the 21 of Mark Rice. 93 Larry Bales, inside second row. Outside row number 2 is the, take a quick guess, no, that's 4, Pat Flanagan. See, 27, that's, is that Buck Sloan in the 27? Brian Sloan in the 27. Also out there, Dave Dysart in the 14 machine, the 5 of Pete Alexander, the 3 of Wally Kosicki, and I'm missing somebody. The 17 of Terry Childers. Green flag comes out. 3 wide going into turn number 1. Everybody makes it through okay. Your leader is the 0 machine of Ken Rice. The old man leading the sun around right now. Mark Rice running second. 3 wide down the front stretch. Oh, Dave Dysart on the inside. Larry Bell's in the middle. Wally Kosicki on the outside. Kosicki almost up to the wall. Wally Kosicki taking that John Vallow line around this track. Ken Rice leading this one, at Wally Kosicki making it a show as he's found a really wide line around this. Watching come down the hill. Look inside of Dave Dysart. Battle for third between the 14 and 3 machines. 14 of Dave Dysart and the 3 of Wally Kosicki. Ken Rice leading it. Mark Rice running second. Third belongs to the 14 of Dysart. And fourth to the 3 of Kosicki. Your leader is the 0 of Ken Rice. And Mark Rice running second as things have kind of leveled out here for the moment. Wally Kosicki still liking that hot line down the back stretch. White flag, 1 lap to go for your leader, car number 0, Ken Rice. And your winner will be car number 0, Ken Rice. Coming home second will be Mark Rice. Dave Dysart will come home third. Fourth will go to the 3 of Wally Kosicki. And 5th place will be the 27 of Brian Sloan. Once again your winner, car number 0, Ken Rice. I'm going to have me a cold drink. Heat race number 3 looks like... is that the 19 of Scott Blacker? Yes. Outside of him, the 11 of Willie Rice. Inside second row, 25 Buck Sloan, 88 Mike Ladman, 41 Tony Celebrezze, the 35 car is Chris McCombs, 31 Terry Schurz, and I'm missing somebody, 75 Ronnie Souders. White flag coming out. We should see the green flag next time by the stripe. Bobby Hammond gives him the signal. This time we're going green. Willie Rice wasting no time. He's your leader. Second belongs to the 19 of Scott Blacker. Third is the 27 of Buck Sloan. Is that right? Brian Sloan. One of those Sloan boys is out there. Actually, that's the 25 of Buck Sloan. Running in the third position. Fourth is the 88 of Mike Ladman. Willie Rice, your leader, our number 11. Buck Sloan looking to the inside of Scott Blacker, coming down turn number 4. Blacker gives him the room in 1, but Sloan can't quite take advantage of it. He falls back into the line down the backstretch. Willie Rice, your leader. Excellent racing going on for third, fourth, and fifth place. These guys really mixing up here in the third and final heat race. And go figure, I'm wrong once again. It's not Willie Rice in the 11 machine. If I just look at my little sheet here, that's Clarence Rice that's leading this race. White flag. 1 lap to go for Clarence Rice. As we must have had a driver change right in the middle. That's what it was, yeah. Now Clarence Rice, your leader, and winner coming out of turn number 4. Coming home second will be the 25 of Virgil Sloan, Buck Sloan. 75 Ronnie Souders come home third. Scott Blacker fourth, and the 88 of Mike Ladman will round out your top 5. Once again, your winner, car number 11, Clarence Rice. Pro Stock heat race number 1 coming out on the track. 81 is Brian Wilson. He'll be your pole sitter for this race. Outside of him will be the 98 machine of Chris Stock. 1 is Jerry John Sr., 78 Virgil Powell, 74 LG Jones, 58 it is Gary Norton in 58. And let's see, who else is out there? 22 of David Jakowski, the 97 of Jeff Wilson. That's your heat race. And we should get a green flag next time by the stripe. Backstretch flagman Bobby Hammond saying, all right guys, play nice, let's go racing. And coming around in complete lap number 1, your leader is Brian Wilson and Chris Stump. As they were side by side across the stripe as near as I can tell. Good battle for the lead. Continue to be side by side. Brian Wilson inside, Chris Stump outside. Side by side battle all the way around the track. And I would say the outside lanes hooked up pretty good tonight. Now Brian Wilson shuts it down the front stretch. Chris Stump now your leader as Wilson will pull it into the infield down the 8th or 5th mile track. So your leader is the 98 of Chris Stump. Jerry John Sr. runs second in the 1 machine. And Virgil Powell holding on to third in 78. White flag, 1 lap to go for Chris Stump, car number 98. And your winner will be car number 98, Chris Stump, coming home second, and Jerry Johns Sr. Third will go to the Virgil Powell machine, car number 78. Fourth will be Gary Norton in the 58. And rounding out your top 5 will be the 97 of Jeff Wilson. Once again, your winner, number 98, Chris Stump. Heat race number 2, Ellis Lawrence Jr., Jerry Johns Jr. on the pole. Inside second row, Ryan Dunleavy, then it's 52 Mike Miller. Some new cars out back. 05 Tyrone Tar, 74 is LG Jones. Then it's the 93 car of Ted Applegate. Outside of him will be the Daryl Norman machine, car number 3, and then the 99 of Ansel Massey. And I called the 74 car out there. That is actually the 88 of Glenn Betty's that's out there in this race. White flag being shown to the field. We should get a green flag next time by the stripe. Leader lap number 1, car number 20, Ellis Lawrence Jr. Second place of battle. Now Ron Dunleavy takes over second from Jerry Johns Jr. As Jr. falls back into third. And it looked like Tyrone Tar might have been a little bit slow down the back stretch. We got one spun. That's the 88 of Glenn Betty's. Caution. On the restart, Ellis Lawrence Jr., Ryan Dunleavy, Jerry Johns Jr., Mike Miller, and Tyrone Tar. And we got one slow down the front stretch. That's the 52, Mike Miller. Ellis Lawrence Jr. still your leader. Ryan Dunleavy running second. Third belongs to Jerry Johns Jr. White flag comes out. 1 lap to go for your leader, car number 20, Ellis Lawrence Jr. And your winner will be car number 20, Ellis Lawrence Jr. Ryan Dunleavy comes home second. Third will go to Jerry Johns Jr., Tyrone Tar fourth, and Ted Applegate will round out your top 5. Once again, your winner, car number 20, Ellis Lawrence Jr. Pure Stock, heat race number 1. Bob Huffman, Danny Suffren. Sean Miller, Craig Conover. I think it's Gary Scythe's machine, Chuck Sedith, and Wes Johnson in the 45. White flag. Should get a green flag next time by the stripe. coming from the Sean Miller machine. Car number 24, car running second. Lots of smoke. And we got one into the wall down the back stretch. That's the 79 of Chuck Sedeth. Into the back stretch wall. And if you look carefully, you can see the fluids that are flowing from underneath. We're going to take some time to clean this one up. On the restart, Bob Huffman, Danny Suffren, Craig Conover, Gary Seitz, and Wes Johnson. Sean Miller having to go to the pits. That smoking situation, not a good thing. Bob Huffman, your leader. Danny Suffren in second. White flag. 1 lap to go for your leader, car number 29, Bob Huffman. And problems for Wes Johnson in the 45. Oh, man, bad news. You could hear the unmistakable sound of rod knock coming out of the 45 car. No problems for the 29 of Bob Huffman. He's your winner of this heat race. Pure stock heat race number 2, Brian Roush, Wayne Seals, Larry Gard, Jeremy Everding, Mark Wolf, and is that the 78 machine of Ken Burnett? All right, pure stock heat race number 2. Green flag comes out, and caution comes right back out. False start. Much better looking start, at least among the top 2 drivers. Brian Roush comes out with the lead through turns 1 and 2 down the back stretch. Jeremy Everding takes over second. Wayne Seals falls back to third. Jeremy Everding right on the back bumper of Brian Roush. Roush still your leader. Now Jeremy moves up to the high side. Gonna give that high lane a try. They're side by side down the back stretch. White flag, 1 lap to go for your leader, Brian Roush. And your winner, our number 3, Brian Roush. Jeremy Everdeen comes home second. Third will go to Wayne Seals. Fourth, Larry Guard. And rounding out your top 5, Ken Burnett. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that it's his first heat race win, at least of 1999. Our number 3, Brian Roush. NASCAR Winston Racing Series late model, heat race number 1, pulling out on the track. Mike Carroll on the pole, 33, Carl Stapleton, 7, John Farrell, 28, Mark Stubb, 35 is Jeff Capaldi. I believe it's the 2 of Dave Brandenburg. And I'm not too sure who the other 2 cars are. The 43 of Will Spurgeon and the 17 is Sam Heckman. Mike Carroll takes over the lead coming out of turn 2. Carl Stapleton falls back to second in the 33 machine. John Farrell in third. And Jeff Capaldi holding on to that 4th position. Your leader still Mike Carroll in the number 1 machine. Carl Stapleton running second. Battle for third between John Farrell and Jeff Capaldi. Capaldi now taking over that 3rd position. Farrell back to 4th. Mike Carroll, your leader. White flag, 1 lap to go. And your winner will be car number 1, Mike Carroll. Carl Stapleton comes home second. Jeff Capaldi, Dave Brandenburg, and John Farrell round out your top 5. Once again, your winner, car number 1, Mike Carroll. Heat race number 2 for the late models, rolling out onto the track. Russ Bob on the pole, Tony Brunke outside. Inside second row is the 72 of Jerry Stapleton. Outside him, the 75 of Gary Estes. In the 3rd row, car number 34, that is Dave Ellis. Outside him, the 23 of Ron Simpson. Then it's the 15 of Jim Frederick and the 01 of Gene Crace. They're going to heat them up. We'll have the green flag for you in just a moment. Car number 53, Russ Bob, Tony Brunke, and Joe Stapleton battling for that second as the 15 of Jim Frederick getting the black flag. put some oil or something, some sort of fluid down on the track, probably fuel coming out the back end, coming out either the overflow or they didn't get the cap on tight enough. Your leader's still the 53 of Russ Bob. Tony Brunke looking to the high side now for the lead. Russ Bob still battling side by side. Jim Frederick finally pulls into the infield, heeding the black flag. Tony Brunke, slight advantage going into turn number 3, that time down the back stretch. One time across the stripe, white flag, Tony Brunke. Slight advantage over Russ Bob. And your winner will be car number 29, Tony Brunke. Coming home second will be Russ Bob. Third will go to Jerry Stapleton. Fourth to Gary Estes. And rounding out your top 5 is car number 34, Dave Ellis. Once again, your winner, car number 29, Tony Brunke. Mini stocks pull up on the track next for their heat race. 33, that's Greg Stapleton. 60, Jerry Moore. 17, Frank Harvey. 6 is Ron Wells. 19, Jeff Wickman. The 10 of Chuck Weaver. And the 34 of Brian Brewer. And I got those two back. It's the 34 of Brian Brewer and the 10 of Chuck Weaver. I still got that wrong. Try that once again. 34 is Chuck Weaver. 10, Brian Brewer. Pick up the throttle out of turn number 4. We're racing 6 laps for the mini stocks. Of Chuck Weaver with a spin and backs it into the turn 1 wall. Caution on the track. On the restart, it will be Greg Stapleton, Frank Harvey, Ron Wells, Jerry Moore, and Jeff Wickman. Your leader, Ron Wells, running second now. Greg Stapleton third, and Jerry Moore holding on to that 4th position. And Ron Wells with a spin over in turn 2. Truck seemed to just break loose with him. And that'll bring out another caution. Restart, Frank Harvey, Greg Stapleton, Jerry Moore, Jeff Wickman, and Chuck Weaver. lap to go for your lead car number 17, Frank Harvey. And your winner will be car number 17, Frank Harvey. Finishing second is Greg Stapleton. Third will go to Jerry Moore. Fourth, Jeff Wickman. And rounding out your top five will be Ron Wells. Once again, your winner, car number 17, Frank Harvey. Modified heat race number 1, Ralph Herod, Gary Smith, Dick Dunleavy. And I'm not too sure who that is on the outside. Then out back in the 6 is Dave Sewell. 15 of Kevin Bloxham is the black color car. And tonight in the 5, Randy Hinkle. Ralph Herod, your leader. Dick Dunleavy Jr. running second. Gary Smith third. Now Dunleavy looks to the inside of Herod. Going into turn 3. Almost 3 wide in 4. And now side by side for the lead. Dick Dunleavy, Ralph Herod. Now Dunleavy takes over the lead down the backstretch. Dunleavy still your leader, Ralph Herod and Gary Smith run second and third. Now one spinning down through the infield, that's the 5 of Randy Hinkle. He's out of the way, so we stay green. Flag, 1 lap to go for car number 11, Dick Dunleavy Jr., the leader. And coming out of turn number 4, your winner, car number 11, Dick Dunleavy Jr. Finishing second will be Ralph Herod. Gary Smith will come home third. Fourth will go to Kevin Bloxham. And rounding out your top 5 will be Dave Sewell. And I gave all that a lap early. Everything basically stays the same, just 1 lap later. Got a little ahead of myself. At any rate, Dick Dunleavy Jr., your winner. Heat race number 2 for the modifieds. Ed Lawrence, Don Fleming Jr., Jim Lewis Jr., Dan Williams, the 0 of Jim Johnson, the 8 of Jack Woods, and the 76 of Frank Harris. Number 1, car number 17, Ed Lawrence. Battle for second between Jim Lewis Jr. and Don Fleming Jr. Also a battle for 4th position between Jack Woods and the 88 of Dan Williams. Williams slips back a little bit now, as does Fleming Jr. So your second place car is Jim Lewis Jr. Third, Jack Woods. Williams and Fleming side by side now, and Williams takes over that 4th spot in the 88 machine. Your leader still the 17 of Ed Lawrence. Jr. running second. Lewis closing now on your leader. Down the backstretch, right on his back bumper. White flag, 1 lap to go. And your winner will be car number 17, Ed Lorenz. Finishing second will be Jim Lewis Jr. Jack Woods brings it home third. Fourth will go to Frank Harris. And rounding out your top 5 will be the 88 of Dan Williams. Once again, your winner, car number 17, Ed Lorenz. First feature of the night, car number 24, Sean Miller on the pole. This is the figure 8s. 28, Danny Suffren outside row number 1. Then it's the 98, Gary Sykes. The 43 of Francis Jenkins. The 4 of Jason Shaver. And the 1 of Jeremy Everty. First time out for the 99 season for Francis Jenkins. Tonight in the, what looks like 3 car, but actually there's some tape there. It's the number 43. Jason Shaver, your leader. Pretty much having this race his own way from the start. Jeremy Everty holding on to second. There's a good shot of the number 1 machine. white flag, 1 lap to go for your leader, car number 4, Jason Shaver. And your winner will be, as Jeremy Everding closes, too little, too late. Jason Shaver, your leader. Jeremy Everding finishing second, and he suffered third. Fourth goes to Francis Jenkins. And then rounding out your top 5, car number 98, Gary Seitz, with a blown motor. And Jason Shaver doing a victory donut or 2 over there in turn 4 on the big track. So is Danny Suffern. Okay, it's intermission time. We'll be back with the rest of the features in just a couple. And now your lineup for the Pro Stock NASCAR Winston Racing Series here at KilKare Speedway for July 23rd, 1999. On the pole will be car 05, Tyrone Tarr. Outside of him, the 11 of Ryan Dunlap. Inside row number 2 will be car number 81, that's Brian Wilson, and outside of him, the number 1 of Jerry Johns. Row number 3 is car number 20, that's Ellis Lawrence Jr., and the 78 of Virgil Powell outside of him. Row number 4 is car number 52, Mike Miller, and the 98 of Chris Stump. Row number 5, car number 32, Jerry Johns Jr., and the 74 of L.G. Jones. Row number 6, car number 58, Gary Norton, and the 22 of David Jakowski. Row number 7, car number 97, Jeff Wilson, and the 88 of Glenn Betty's. Row number 8, car number 99, Ansel Massey, and the 3 of Daryl Norman. And in row number 9, car number 93, Ted Applegate.
20 laps, row stop.
Dunleavy, leader, lap number 1. Tyrone Tarr holding on to that second spot. Somebody scraped the wall down the front stretch. Saw some sparks. I believe that was the Jerry Johns machine. Tyrone Tarr still holding on to second. Brian Wilson is looking to the inside as he is side by side with Jerry Johns Sr. Virgil Powell holding on to 5th. Now Johns gets around for that 3rd position, sort of. Brian Wilson pulls it back underneath, going through turns 3 and 4. Ryan Dunleavy, your leader. And we got him 3 wide coming out of 4. I knew that was going to cause somebody to spin. 81, Brian Wilson. And that'll bring out the race's first caution. On the restart, Ryan Dunleavy, Tyrone Tarr, Jerry Johns Sr., Brian Wilson, and Chris Dunn. Tarr slipping back now on the high side. Your second place car is now the 1 of Jerry Johns Sr. here. Brian Wilson running 3rd. 4th belongs to Chris Stump. And got a couple cars getting together down the front stretch. Gary Norton, 58 spins. I believe that was the 7 of Jeff Wilson. Give him a little bit of help there. Dunleavy, your leader. The one of Jerry John Sr. right on his back bumper. He runs second. First belongs to Brian Wilson, but Chris Stump looking to the high side now of the 81 machine. Chris Stump getting around Brian Wilson. He runs third. And he'll set his sights on the one of Jerry John Sr. Ryan Dunlap's still your leader. A little bit of racing back to pack as Mike Miller goes around the Tyrone car machine. Closing on Brian Wilson now. So your top 5 cars are nose to tail on the track. Ryan Dunleavy, your leader. Jerry John Sr. running second, 98 of Chris Stump. Third, fourth belongs to the 81 of Brian Wilson, and the 52 of Mike Miller in that 5th position. There we go. I knew somewhere we had a problem. It was a 58 of Gary Norton with a spin into the infield in the backstretch. On the restart, Brian Dunleavy, Jerry John Sr., Chris Stump, Brian Wilson, Mike Miller. We got him spinning before we even get started. Come up against the wall. Looks like David Jakowski involved. Maybe Jeff Wilson, I think, is up against the wall. No, that's the 93 of Ted Applegate. Jeff Wilson gets spun around backwards over in 4. On the restart, Ryan Dunleavy, Jerry John Sr., Chris Stump, Brian Wilson, Mike Miller. Once again, Mike Miller moving to the high side. Brian Wilson as Chris Stump moves to the high side of Jerry Jones Sr. Side-by-side battle for 4th. And Chris Stump trying to make it a side-by-side battle for 2nd. Once again, Stump looks to that high side going through turns 1 and 2. We got one losing an entire rear axle. That's the 78 of Virgil Powell. Dunleavy, your leader. Jerry John Sr. running second. Third is Brian Wilson. And now Wilson slips back. 28 Chris Stump runs third. Mike Miller now getting around Brian Wilson for the 4th position. Wilson all the way back to 5th. Miller side by side with Chris Stump for 3rd place at the moment. Ryan Dunleavy still your leader. LG Jones slowed down the backstretch. He stays up near the wall out of everybody's way. Everybody goes on by. Your leader still Ryan Dunleavy. Mike Miller still working that high lane. Battle with Chris Stump for 3rd. White flag, 1 lap to go for your leader, car number 11, Ryan Dunleavy. And your winner will be car number 11, Ryan Dunleavy. Jerry Johnson Jr. comes home 2nd, Mike Miller 3rd, Chris Stump will come home 4th, and rounding out your top 5 will be Brian Wilson. Once again, your winner, car number 11, Ryan Dunleavy. And now coming up onto the track are the E-Modifieds for their feature event. They're going to line up this way. Row number 1 inside 31 is Don Fleming Jr. Outside of him will be the number 28 of Ralph Herod. Inside row number 2, car number 88, Dan Williams. Outside of him, the 25 of Gary Smith. Row number 3, 42 is Jim Lewis Jr. and the 11 of Dick Dunleavy Jr. Row number 4, car number 17, Ed Lawrence and the 0 of Jim Johnson. Row number 5, car number 8, Jack Woods and the 76 of Frank Harris. And in row number 6, car number 5, Randy Hinkle and the 15 of Kevin Bloxham. Tough break for the number 8 of Jack Woods. Fuel leaking out or something leaking out the back of the car. They pulled him into the infield, tried to take care of it, could not, and Jack Woods had to take a pit side. Will be your leader. Don Fleming Jr. running 2nd. I believe it's Dan Williams 3rd. Now Williams looks to the high side of Don Fleming Jr. Dan Williams looking to take over that 2nd spot. Back out on the track. Whatever the problem was, it's now been fixed. As Dunleavy begins to move on the outside, he moves around Gary Smith, putting his sights on the 31 of Don Fleming Jr. Ralph Herrick still your leader. As Dunleavy now works on the Don Fleming Jr. machine. Dan Williams runs 2nd in the 88 car. Ralph Herod right behind Randy Hinkle. Hinkle a little swirly down the backstretch. He gets out of the way of the leader though. And no harm, no foul. As Dunleavy now has gotten around Don Fleming Jr. and he sets his sights on the Dan Williams machine. closing on the 88 of Williams. Ralph Harris still your leader. Dunleavy takes a look inside, out down the back stretch. Or out as they come out of turn 4, down the front stretch. Now they're down the back stretch. It's going to be a long night. As Dunleavy continues working the Dan Williams machine, Ralph Harris still your leader. Slow down the back straightaway. That's Kevin Bloxham in the 15 car. Don't know if he's going to be able to make it back around to the pit area or not. It appears he is not. That car is stalled over in turn 4. That will bring out a caution. Ralph Harris, Dan Williams, Dick Dunleavy Jr., Gary Smith, and Don Fleming Jr. We go back to racing. And Dunleavy wastes no time, moves right inside Dan Williams going into turn 1, and he's underneath and through. Dunleavy now runs second. Closing on the 28 of Ralph Harris. Your leader, Dunleavy, right on his back bumper. Dan Williams in third. Gary Smith fourth. One lap to go for Ralph Harris, your leader. And your winner, car number 28, Ralph Harris. Dick Dunleavy Jr. comes home second. Third will go to Dan Williams, fourth, Gary Smith, and rounding out your top 5, Don Fleming Jr. Once again, your winner, car number 28, Ralph Harris. And now it's time for the Legends Cars 25 lap feature. They're going to line up this way. Car number 11, Clarence Rice, inside front row. Outside him, the 0 of Ken Rice. Row number 2 is car number 88, Greg Boyd, in the 6 of Bill Bickley. Row number 3, 21, Mark Rice, in the 25 of Bud Sloan. Row number 4, car number 15, Rich Wood, in the 14 of Dave Dysart.
0, 4, 9.
Row number 5, car number 75, Ronnie Souders, and the 94, Bobby Sage. Row number 6, car number 3, Wally Kosicki, and the 19 of Scott Blacker. Row number 7, car number 53, Sean McCombs, and the 27 of Brian Sloan. Row number 8, car number 88, Mike Lackman, and the 92 of Mike Sloan. Row the 52 of Mike Sloan. Row number 9, car number 5, Pete Alexander, and the 41 of Mike Broadus. Row number 10, Mike Sharp, in the 7 car inside, and the 41 of Tony Celebes. Row number 11, car number 31, Terry Schurz, and the 17 of Terry Childers. Row number 12, car number 4, Pat Flanagan, and the 63 of Scott Walter. Row number 13, car number 2, Mike Broadus, and the 35 of Chris McCombs. And row number 14, the final car, car number 93, Larry Bales. Clarence Rice and Ken Rice side by side, and we got them spinning down the front stretch. Hard impact, the 31 of Terry Schurz involved, 17 of Terry Childers involved. And a little bit of flame coming from the 31 machine. Complete restart. Clarence Rice and Ken Rice come down once again for a start. With a slight advantage this time through turns 1 and 2. And leader lap number 1, Ken Rice. Our Clarence Rice falls back to second. Greg Boyd now runs third. Trying to find a way around the 11 of Clarence Rice. Greg Boyd closing on the second place car. They go around the slower 93 of Larry Bales, put him a lap down. Ken Rice, Clarence Rice, Greg Boyd for first 3 cars running nose to tail on the track. Cars getting together over in turn 1. Larry Bales is involved. The 19 is Scott Blacker. I believe it's Rich Wood also involved there. 27, Sloan. Mark Rice, I believe. Battle going on a little farther back in the pack. It's Bill Bickley and Bobby Sage battling side by side in front of a bunch of other cars. Ken Rice still leads it. Having some microphone problems here. Ken Rice, still your leader in the 0 car. Greg Boyd now looking to the high side of Clarence Rice as Bill Bickley, Dave Dysart, Bobby Sage, and Ronnie Sowers battles for, I think that's about 5th on bat. Ken Rice still your leader. Microphone change, and we're about ready to go back to racing. Ken Rice, Mark Rice, or excuse me, Greg Boyd, Clarence Rice, Mark Rice, Bill Bickley. inside of Ken Rice down the front stretch. Can't quite get the job done. Kenny Rice still your leader. Dogging him in second. Down the back stretch one last time. And coming out of turn number 4, your winner will be car number 0, Ken Rice. Coming home second will be Greg Boyd. Clarence Rice, oh, we got one spinning. That's Ronnie Sowers with a spin down the back stretch. Clarence Rice will finish third, 14 to Dave Dysart, or fourth place to Mark Rice in the 11 car, and rounding out your top 5 will be the 14 of Dave Dysart. Once again, your winner, car number 0, Kenny Rice. And now your lineup for the NASCAR Winston Racing Series late models. On the front row, inside, car number 34 is Dave Ellis. Outside of him, 17 of Sam Heckman. Inside row number 2, car number 29, Tony Brunke, and the 2 of Dave Brandenburg. Inside row number 3, car number 7, John Farrell, and the 53 of Russ Bob. Row number 4, inside, car number 72, Jerry Stapleton, and the 01 of Gene Crace outside. Row number 5, car number 33, Carl Stapleton inside, and the 1 of Mike Carroll outside. Row number 6, car number 28, Mark Stump, and the 75 of Gary Estes outside of him. Row number 7, car number 15, Jim Frederick, and the 23 of Ron Simpson. Row number 8, car number 43, Will Spurgeon, and the 35 of Jeff Capaldi.
Sam Heckman 588, Carl Stapleton 570.
Ron Simpson with a spin, and he collects a couple other cars. The 35 Jeff Capaldi, the 43 of Will Spurgeon, all dented up in the front. The 15 of Jim Frederick. So we don't even get a start of this one either. We're having a problem getting these races started, it seems like, tonight. And the 43 of Will Spurgeon, heavy front end damage on that car. This time Sam Hamilton spins over in turn, over in turn 1, collects the Dave Brandenburg machine. Gene Crace is caught up in this. So once again, we don't even get one started. Capaldi there up against the turn 1 wall, taking off the gloves. He's done. They say the third time's a charm. We're going to find out here. NASCAR Woodson Racing Series late models having some problems getting this one started. Lap number 1 is the 2 of Dave Brandenburg. Mike Carroll running second. Couldn't tell which red car was up front. Gary Estes third. Fourth now is Tony Brunke as the 34 of Dave Ellis keeps slipping back. Dave Brandenburg, your leader. For a second between Mike Carroll and Gary Estes. Estes on the inside, Carroll on the outside. Still limping. Dave Ellis getting the black flag. Possible fluids coming from that vehicle. We don't need any more of those on the track tonight. Dave Brandenburg still your leader. Mike Carroll, Gary Estes battling for second. Now Estes, into the side of Brandenburg. And Brandenburg goes around. White flag already being shown to the field. They're on the restart. Dave Brandenburg, Mike Carroll, Tony Brunke, Jerry Stapleton, Carl Stapleton, Gary Estes goes to the tail of the field. We're spinning Dave Brandenburg. Brandenburg got the spot back. Mike Carroll looks to the high side of the Brandenburg machine, going out of turn 4. Can't get the job done. Brandenburg holds on to the lead. Dave Brandenburg, your leader. And now Mike Carroll really riding that high line. Trying to find a way around the 2 of Dave Brandenburg. Tony Brunke now right there. He's in third. And he's right on the back bumper of Brandenburg. Now Carroll slips back just a little bit. Brunke slips underneath. And now Tony Brunke runs second. Dave Brandenburg still your leader. Mike Carroll now sweeping back into the clutches of Jerry Stapleton, the 72 machine. Stapleton runs third. Mike Carroll back to fourth. Up through the pack. Dave Brandenburg still your leader. Tony Brunke running second. Now Jerry Stapleton then looks to the high side of Brunke and jumps back in line. Dave Brandenburg, Tony Brunke, Jerry Stapleton, and Mike Carroll. Those are your top cars. They're nose to tail on the track. Who's your 5th place car? Gary Estes. And you see him just coming into the picture back there as Tony Brunke looks to the inside of Brandenburg down the front straightaway. Excuse me, down the back stretch now. They are side by side. Looking to the inside of Sam Heckman, who's slow. Sam, of course, involved in that earlier incident with Chief Race and Dave Brandenburg. Now Brandenburg dropping back a little bit more. He's on the high side. Your leader is Tony Brunke. 72 of Jerry Stapleton runs second. Third belongs to and Mike Carroll now. Looking to the inside of Brandenburg as Brandenburg is slipping back. Mike Carroll now runs third. Brandenburg back to fourth. Gary Estes in that 5th position. And now Brandenburg with a spin in turn 4. Dave Brandenburg with a problem. Wonder if that earlier incident was involving Sam Heckman and Jake Brace and Dave Brandenburg didn't have something to do with this problem. As Dave Brandenburg was running very well, and now it appears to be purple. On the restart, it will be Tony Brunke, Jerry Stapleton, Mike Carroll, Gary Estes back up to the 4th position. And John Farrell rounding out your top 5. Still your leader, the 72, Jerry Stapleton running second. Mike Carroll, Gary Estes, 3 and 4. Stretch camera. Tony Brunke, your leader. Jerry Stapleton running second. Mike Carroll third. White flag, 1 lap to go for Tony Brunke. And your winner will be car number 29, Tony Brunke. Jerry Stapleton comes home second. Mike Carroll third. Fourth goes to Gary Estes. And rounding out your top 5, John Farrell. Once again, your winner, car number 29, Tony Brunke. And now it's time for the Pure Stock feature. Inside, front row, car number 77, Larry Gard. Outside of him, the 3 of Brian Roush. Inside, row number 2 is car number 6, that's Craig Conover, and the 28 of Danny Suffren. Outside of him, row number 3 is the 29 of Bob Huffman, and the number 1 of Jeremy Everding. Row number 4 is car number 24, Sean Miller, and the 93 of Wayne Seals. And in row number 5, car number 78, Ken Burnett, and the 98 of Gary Seitz. Smoke coming out of the 98 of Gary Seitz. Seitz with a problem. He's the one that had the problem earlier in the figure 8 race. He is now getting the black flag. Your leader is the 3 of Brian Roush, 77 of Larry Gard running second, Craig Conover third. And you can see the smoke coming out from underneath the 98 of Gary Seitz. And Gary will take it to the pits. Tough break for the 98 machine. Huffman now looking to the high side of Craig Conover. Brian Roush, car number 3, still your leader. Larry Gard running second, battle for third between Craig Conover and Bob Huffman. Conover still battling for that third position behind the Larry Gard machine. Oh, and contact between Craig Conover and Bob Huffman. Everybody keeps going. As Benny Parsons would say, that was a wreck, but nobody hit anything. That was a wreck, and they missed their opportunity to crash, one of the two. And now Craig Conover looks to the inside of Larry Gard a little too much. Gard goes around, and that'll bring out a caution. On the restart, Brian Roush, Larry Gard, Bob Huffman, Danny Suffren, Sean Miller, Jeremy Everding, and Wayne Steele. Craig Conover has to go to the back of the pack for causing the 77 car to spin. And we go back to racing, and Bob Huffman wastes no time, moves to that high side. He looks for a way around the Larry Gard machine now. Gets around Larry Gard for second. Bob Huffman now runs second. Brian Roush still your leader. now Bob Huffman looks to the inside of Brian Roush down the back stretch. Roush gives him the room, but Huffman can't quite do it. White flag comes out. 1 lap to go for Brian Roush, your leader. And your winner will be car number 3, Brian Roush. Coming home second will be Bob Huffman in the 29 machine. Then Larry Gard in 77, Jeremy Everding, and Danny Suppin round out your top 5. Once again, your winner, car number 3, Brian Roush. Our final feature of the night, the mini stocks. And they'll line up this way. Row number 1 is the 19 of Jeff Wickman. Outside of him, the 17 of Frank Harvey. Row number 2, truck number 60, Jerry Moore, and the 33 pickup truck of Greg Stapleton. Row number 3, the pickup truck number 6, Ron Wells, and the 10 of Brian Weaver. And in row number 4, car number 34, Chuck Weaver. Flag comes out for the 34 of Chuck Weaver over in turn 2. Complete restart. Stapleton running in second. Ron Wells and Jeff Whitman side by side for third. And now Ron Wells takes over that third position in the number 6 pickup truck. Something was wrong that time. You heard the pop and crackle as he went down the front stretch that time. Problems with the Frank Harvey machine. That car is missing. Can't hear him so well now that the other cars are up on top of him. Greg Stapleton gets around. Ron Wells gets around. Stapleton now your leader. Ron Wells now running second. And problems for Frank Harvey, car number 17. Stapleton, your leader, right on his back bumper is the 6 of Ron Wells. Third is Jerry Moore in the 60 pickup truck. There he is. of Brian Brewer with a problem. And that'll bring out a caution flag. On the restart, Greg Stapleton, Ron Wells, Jerry Moore, Jeff Wickman, and Brian Brewer in the 10 machine. Frank Harvey still limping that machine along out there. Looks to the inside of Greg Stapleton coming out of turn 4. Stapleton slams the door in turn 1. White flag, 1 lap to go for your leader, Greg Stapleton. And your winner will be pickup truck number 33, Greg Stapleton. Ron Wells comes home second. Third will go to Jerry Moore. Fourth, Jeff Wickman. And rounding out your top 5 will be Brian Brewer. I'd like to thank you once again for buying this Pinstroke Productions at the Track videotape. And keep in mind, we not only videotape here at KilKare Speedway, but at Columbus Motor Speedway each and every week following the NASCAR Winston Racing Series. For my wife, Kim, my partner, Bill Yo, I'm Nate Pennington. We'll see you next week at the track.